What's going on, guys? Drunk Italian here. Welcome to part one of my offensive strategy analysis series, where I take three teams, play 3 games each, and I run a single offensive zone strategy for all 4 lines. In this episode, we're going to discuss the overload strategy. And in my opinion, this is the toughest strategy to run, and it's for the more skilled players. So just some general notes about the overload. You want to outnumber the defense on the strong side of the offensive zone, which means wherever the puck is, you want to have more players on your team than there are defending you. You want to use lots of passing, using every player on the ice. And this is a puck possession strategy. So you want to be patient and focus on generating high quality scoring chances. The key in the overload is to get defenders to overcommit to you to open up passing lanes and scoring chances. And note that this is both an even strength offensive zone strategy as well as its own power play strategy. Now, the best way to generate scoring chances using the overload is with one-timers in the slot. So in the background here, I'm just showing you a few different ways that I was trying to score, work the overload, work the puck around to get some scoring chances. These didn't really, I wasn't able to convert on these, but it just shows you how you can use many different ways to open up passing lanes. You can work the puck around in so many different ways. Now let's analyze this play right here. I've got a defensive player in the slot. I'm board played along the boards, and I have my teammate pop out into the half boards and give me a quick pass back. Now I've got 2 defensive players overcommitted to the guy in the half boards, which leaves an open passing lane and a great shot on goal. Now it's important to note that all of these strategies, overload, behind the net, crash the net, these are not set plays. These are just strategic ways to have your team positioned in the offensive zone so that you create different kinds of scoring chances. Now this clip up here is a perfect example of the overload. I passed the puck around 7 times in succession without giving up the puck and opening a wide open chance in front of the net. So if we just want to break this one down a bit, I've got 3 players along the board, so I'm outnumbering them on the strong side. My human controlled players in the slot. I leave a quick pass off the boards and then another quick pass back into the corner. His team is way overcommitted now. I've got 2 up high, 1 racing down back to the slot, wide open passing lane, and an easy goal. Now I'm going to go on for a rant a little bit here. And so just in the background I've got a few more examples of me trying to work the overload. Now these players weren't the most skilled players. These weren't anywhere near Division 1 hunt players. And so against really good players, the slot will not be open realistically most of the time. So using the overload, it's good, but you need to be able to be patient enough and be confident enough to maintain possession of the puck and basically outweight your opponent so that when the time comes, you'll be able to have a juicy passing lane and put it in the back of the net when you get the chance. The chances aren't always going to be there. This is why it's inherently for the more skilled players who know how to make smart passes, who can use the manual saucer pass, because that's what I find to be very effective when passing around defensive players along the boards. The overload is a great strategy. Goals that you score with it will look very pretty if you can get it right. You just need to throw a bit of a twist into your gameplay. You need to throw some curveballs. You can't be doing the same thing every single time. So now that we've talked about how to execute the overload in order to generate one-timer chances in the slot, now I'm going to talk about what not to do, and that is definitely forcing the cross crease. I know the cross crease is one of the best ways to score goals in NHL 15, but you can't be doing it all the time or it's a guaranteed turnover. So I'm going to walk you through a few examples during these very same games that I was playing of times where I tried to do a little bit too much, got a little bit too eager, and didn't really wait long enough until the defense was out of position and forced that pass into the middle. And every single time I did that, it ended up being a turnover, and my opponent ended up going the other way. So just keep in mind that the overload is all about patience and just getting the defense to overcommit. And again, this was kind of an extreme setting where I played every single game, all 4 lines using overload. Obviously, in a real game, I don't recommend that. So it's just beneficial for you to have this in your strategic arsenal as one of your weapons, but you can't be too predictable. You can't force things in order to, so that you won't be able to generate good scoring chances, because your opponent will be able to predict time and time again what you're going to do. So now we're going to get into basically the other option, how you can score using the overload, which is using the short side wrist shot. And this is why I love the overload. This is why I love hockey in general. It's all mind games, right? You try and psych out your opponent. You use the cross crease, and your opponent adjusts his strategy. Now he's sitting in the slot taking away the pass. He thinks he's got you figured out, and then you go in, instead of passing across the crease and getting it intercepted or blocked, you step into the slot and fucking rip it, top cheese. So let's just quickly break down this clip right here. So I've got 2 men covering the slot pass. It's not an option. So Getzlav instead walks in, rips it short side. Alright, this other example, I've got Cogliano, squeaks out, defense way overcommits. I walk in right into the slot and again, rip it short side. I found that using the overload against opponents who are puck hungry and who chase you in the defensive zone works like a charm. Now, one of the most challenging things about executing the overload is actually gaining the zone and setting up your team positionally. Now, other than obviously skating the puck into the zone, one way that I've found works really well in overload, it might be dependent on my breakout strategy or my offensive pressure, is just a simple, soft, low dump pass around the net onto your oncoming winger. So you can see in this clip that I've got the puck along the boards and a winger out to the left who's wide open. But these 2 defenders are in the passing lane. So the best way for me to get that puck to him would be to send it soft and low along the boards around the net, so we can beat that defender who's caught flat-footed and pick it up from there, so we can start setting up the overload. So in this last part of the video, I'm just going to briefly analyze on a high level the statistics that went into these 3 games, and basically summarize the effect that using the overload strategy has on your gameplay. So as you can see, pretty diverse games over here, but the common trends is with the shots and the time on attack that really reflect the puck possession amount. So over these 3 games, I averaged around 16 shots per game. Now that's fairly low, considering in other game styles I play generally tend to get me somewhere in the mid-20s to possibly even 30 shots per game. An average time on attack is 14, and in one of those games I got almost 17 minutes of time on attack. So the puck possession is ridiculous, but at the same time you got to make sure that you're creating high quality chances, because they don't come by that easy. Well, I guess that wraps up this video. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys incorporate this strategy into your gameplay. Hopefully it makes you a little bit more unpredictable, a little bit harder to play against, and hopefully I see more of you guys rolling the overload and making some sweet passing plays. So be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you guys in the next one.